Aftercare After Dark is intended for mature audiences. If you're under the age of 18, we would ask you to leave this broadcast immediately and patiently await your formal invite to the grown folks table. We sometimes discuss topics that can be triggering for some. Please refer to the show's notes for episode-specific trigger warnings and resources. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aftercare After Dark. My name is Miss G.
And I'm Yolanda. We're two sisters helping each other navigate these kink streets. Aftercare is time spent communicating and taking care of your partner after sex and or play. But who does this vital work when you're single? We are here for each other and those of you who are also exploring. Today's episode is all about these apps, the trash that they are, the hope that we have for them, and answering questions about them. And we're going to leave FetLife out of this. So FetLife doesn't count. So what apps are you currently active on?
Currently, right now, the only dating app I'm active on is Feeld, Feeld, Feeld.
And for me, I'm on Hinge and Field.
Okay.
I've deleted my OkCupid account. I'm done.
I've done Plenty of Fish. Now, this was like 10 years ago. I haven't been on Plenty of Fish anytime recently. So I've done Plenty of Fish years ago. I've done Tinder. I've done OkCupid. I've done Hinge. Field has so far been my favorite.
We'll talk about that. So what apps have you used in the past and why did you leave them? So for me, I've used OkCupid because it's trash. It's trash. The brokes are on OkCupid. The brokes and the marrieds. That's all that is. You know, like they say it's great for poly. It is not. I met both of my broke busters on. I did. Both of the financial difficulty individuals I met on OkCupid. They were the longest relationships I had, though. What does that say?
Eee.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I left OkCupid because I just didn't like the format. Obviously, I uninstalled it months ago. I didn't like the format. I didn't enjoy the audience. It seems like the audience was definitely more of a hookup audience. It's kind of like Tinder. It's why I left Tinder as well, too. I enjoyed Hinge, but it just like the app kept crashing and it just kept lagging.
So for me, I was on Bumble a very long time ago, but I didn't like it. And this is why, because I initiated, and now I see where my mistakes were. Like I initiated because that's what Bumble is, female led, right? We're supposed to initiate matches and everything else. But the people that I matched up with also expected that I would keep up the whole management of the relationship. So anytime I initiated and started the conversation or started the flirtation, then I had to do a lot of work to maintain it. Bumble for me was for the lazies, the people who did not want to do any work. And then if you disappeared for a day or two, it was like, what happened? Where'd you go? Like, and I'm like, I'm having a conversation with myself. That's why. Like, you do not generate any questions for me. You don't make plans. You don't anything. So that was me years and years ago. And I'm talking about like when Bumble first started. So like 8, 9 years ago, something like that.
You just reminded me that I've been on Bumble too. I've been on Bumble too. I don't remember why I left. It was just at one point I just kind of like uninstalled all of the apps because I was like going through a little burnout. It's also like the overall tone of what some of these apps had, right? Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish at the time as well too when I was on it, were all like hookup apps. So that was like the demographic of the people that or at least the men that I encountered was they were just there for no strings attached. They were there for hookups. They were there for fuck buddies, friends with benefits. And I just got tired of that. Uninstalled everything.
So which one was the absolute ghetto? Like what really grinded your gears?
I feel like OkCupid was. I think OkCupid was the most ghetto one to me. I don't know why. Again, it's like it's been a long time and I can't tell you why unless I pull it up right now, which I have no intention of doing. But I was like the format, it felt sleazy and cheap. It looked gaudy, you know.
How long ago were you on OkCupid? Because I think it's changed.
No, this was September, October.
I was on OkCupid in October. You know what I like about OkCupid? And it's just a personal thing. It's not for dating. It asks a whole bunch of questions. And so like I was able to gather data about what people say about themselves. There was this one example. Do you categorize yourself as a carefree or be intense. I could not find a single other person that matched with that answer with me. Everybody said that they were carefree, and I'm like, I'm intense. Intense is all hell. Like, who is carefree? It is 2023 or 2024 now, but it was 2023 when I was on that app.
Usually men with no responsibilities.
But I was pairing with women too. Everybody was carefree.
This is
I
also
got
like
bills.
this is online dating. It's the unfortunate truth about it. Like, this is online dating. Online dating is very superficial. Online dating is very surface level. People don't go deep. People don't
There
go
was another
deep.
question that I didn't match anyone on. Well, there was two. Would you date somebody who was in a significant amount of debt? And I said no. No, I would not. You're not messing with my credit score. No, I would not. I would not get in a relationship with someone that isn't like, so sorry for you. But I've been there. I have been there. I was taken advantage of financially. I ended up with bad credit and I make mistakes. The wisdom comes from not making the same one twice. I'm not doing that again.
I think I'm confusing Bumble and OkCupid because I think Bumble was my least favorite. Well, Plenty of Fish too, but like I think Bumble was the one that would felt sleazy and gaudy and cheap to me. I remember the questions on OkCupid, and I liked those questions.
I love those questions because it tells you a lot. What was another one? Could you date somebody that was really messy? No, I cannot. I don't even think I can date somebody who's moderately messy. And I found this out about myself. I was just like, oh no.
Hinge has good questions as well too, right?
Okay, so I think Hinge is the ghetto. That is because you don't fill out a profile. I think you spend too much time trying to figure out why people are there. It is a good bio data thing, like saying where somebody went to college, how tall they are, whether they smoke, whether they drink, whether they do drugs, if they have a pet, what their sun sign is. So it gives you the bare bones, but you really don't know why anybody's there. The prompts are interesting too, and I like them, but it creates like a false intimacy, especially since you can caption your things with pictures. You are kind of bombarded with a lot of visuals over substance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that gets me. I have to be very intentional about directing, if I match with someone, directing my question. Where do you live? What do you do for a living? Because a lot of people are like CEO and self-employed, and I'm just like, you know what? I've been self-employed for a very, very long time. Don't don't.
I
What do
just
you?
I just realized that I've done Facebook dating too. I liked Facebook dating.
There was Facebook dating.
There
See,
is.
I've always thought that Facebook was in general the ghetto. So I don't spend any time on Facebook whatsoever.
It is now, but there's Facebook dating, and I liked Facebook dating. I
Is
enjoyed
it still
Facebook dating.
around?
Yeah, it's still around. It's still a thing. I just like went
Okay.
through my little burnout phase, and I just fucking deleted everything. So I actually found out about Field. You were the second person who told me about Field. I found out about Field the first time from a gentleman that I had met on Tinder, I believe. He was poly, and I dated him casually for a few, but he also had a baby mom at the time. I thought she was his wife, but they weren't married. She was his longtime fiance, engaged for like 2 or 3 years or something like that. They had a child, dated for a little bit, and then I dated her, took her on a couple of dates and got to know her, adored her. Like, I would have had a relationship with her.
Listen, I liked them both. I really did. I liked the woman more. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
fascinating.
She was
Like
the
we made
sweetest
each
darn
other
thing.
laugh. Yeah.
She was the sweetest damn thing, and that was actually like when my attraction for the man started like going out the window, because this man was spitting game at me, telling me that he's gonna massage my feet and give me a massage and do all these things for me, and I take her on a date, right? So I'm like, hey, set a time, set a date, tell me when and tell me where to be, and I'll adjust my schedule accordingly. Well, what days do you have off? Set a time and set a date. Tell me where to be and what time to be there, and I'll be there. I will adjust my schedule accordingly. Well, you're the one with the busy schedule. And I was like, wife, would you like to go on a
But
date?
But you know what? I find that this paralysis is something that is pervasive. They can't make decisions.
And that's fine.
It's
And you're not my type.
I'm finding that the males can't make decisions. It's very, very hard. I think I've become better, and well, I'm less shy. Like I have just come out. This is what you get. Like no more, I don't know, play game or anything else. Well, I never played games. I guess I don't know what it was. It was a reservation. Don't be too aggressive. Don't be definitive. Be soft, right? Because
Now,
that's the
I won't
criticism.
do that for the first and second date, but this was like the fourth date. This was like the fourth date. Okay. So I
Oh, so that's
initiated,
just laziness again. So like
yeah,
laziness and inability to make a decision.
yeah.
And
And
like,
then
you
you
know,
have a child with this woman. You've been engaged to this woman for X amount of years. And so I was like, set a time, set a date. He just couldn't. And so I was like, fuck you. Asked her out on a date. Get ready on this day. This time, I'll pick you up. Wear this. So I showed up and took her on a date and took her out, took her to a
oh.
fancy dinner, fancy restaurant, and she loved it. She loved it. And she was like, he's never done this for me. And that's where the falling out with him began. Because I was like, do not tell me that you're willing to do X, Y, and Z for me when your baby mother, when the mother of your child has never received that shit from you.
That's where that went.
That's where
Okay.
that went. Getting
Are there
getting heated talking about it.
are there any apps that you have yet to try but you're curious about?
Well, I would like to try Christian Mingle.
I can't. I can't. I cannot. I cannot. I'm not going to church. You cannot make
Onlyfarmers.com.
me. Unless it's like a beautiful, beautiful church, where I can sit in the back and not pay attention. And I get this a lot because the culture, right? Church, God fearing men. Well, this rolls into it's an instant pass for me. Like I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay, you're not gonna make a good Christian lady out of me. I'm not going there. I
You're
can't
not for
do it.
me.
So why Christians single?
I was quite literally just pulling your leg. No, I have
Oh,
no. I was just quite literally pulling your leg. This was not serious at all whatsoever.
you are making me blush.
I was like, I'd like to try onlyfarmers.com as well too. No, I'm tired of the apps. I'm tired of the apps and I don't have no desire to explore and get to know another app. I like Field, it's working for me. And then I have my other, the munches and stuff like that. That's working for me. You got to experience a little bit of that. So I'm just going to stick with what works. I don't have any desire to experiment with something new all over again.
For me, I've never done Adult Friend Finder, and I'm kind of afraid of it. So I'm afraid of that. Is that an app or is that a .com? Is that a website?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, that's where all the messiness with the Kinksters, I think that's where it started before FetLife, was Adult Friend Finder. That's where the swingers went. That's where the poly people went. That's where the Kinksters went, or still go. I hear about Adult Friend Finder all the time.
This is the first time I've heard about it.
Well, there's a site called, I don't know if it's an app or a site, but there is a site called adultfriendfinder.com. Like that's what it is.
It's so funny that like, the more that we talk, the more these memories are popping up. I think I've done sugardaddy.com. I think it's an app too. It didn't last very long. There are a lot of older 50s, 60s-year-old gentlemen who are just not very appealing to look at, wanting sugar babies for sex for $500 a month. No, I'm good.
A month?
Mm-hmm.
Not a date?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
Cheap motherfuckers going on sugar daddy sites. You're not a sugar daddy. Go away. Pay for an escort. Go away.
Okay, so what are you looking for in a profile?
I'm looking for details. I'm looking for like how much effort they put into their bios. So I like humor. I like details, right? So if I like clear communication, like what are you looking for? Why are you here? About you, some things about you. What do you enjoy? Those things. So like I like effort.
We
That's
all
what I
do.
look for.
We all
That's
do.
what I look for in
I have a
profiles.
list. I have a list. So, okay, so in the profile, everything that you said, you have to fill out a profile and it has to be an affirmative profile. I see a lot of, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want the next thing in a woman. I don't want a woman who's too bossy. Have a good spirit. Be kind. All of this stuff about what they want in a woman, nothing about them. I don't want drama,
Oh,
which automatically means I want drama. I love drama, right? I create the drama. That's what I do. If I dig deep enough, every story a man tells about his crazy ex-girlfriend is that he was making crazy. This is their own reporting. Eventually, we get down to what was the conflict? What was it? And it was some trash that they did. Every time, I'm like, so you don't have a crazy ex. You made your ex crazy. You drove your ex crazy. That's what you did. I don't look for like drama-free,
I don't do casual.
casual NSA, friends with benefits. We've talked about this because we need to be friends and I care about my friends. My friends aren't disposable to me and you have to name the benefit. You saw the text. I'm a woman of my word. I need to see how it benefits me. Like, and it can't be something ephemeral and it's really not the sex. illicit sex. I want to know what the benefits are. So pictures, pictures. I'm very wary of gym selfies. I'm very wary of 5 selfies, one in the car, one in the gym, one in the bathroom mirror, like one in your cubicle. I need to see that you have friends. I need to see that someone else is taking a picture of you sometime in your life in the last couple of years.
That's interesting. You're over here dissecting fucking
dissecting
motherfuckers,
it.
psychoanalyzing.
Yes, I am really looking for it. I need to know that you have friends. I need to know that you're not afraid to ask somebody to take a picture of you or somebody thought to take a picture of you. Either way, you're showing me that you're a social person who is social. So these are things that I'm looking for in a profile. I'm looking to see that you filled it out. I'm looking for affirmative things. I love doing this. I would like someone to share this with me. I'm looking for those keywords. So it has to be affirmatively positive, not a checklist of what you don't like in women, because I read that and it's like, you just don't like women. So I need to know that you have given some thought to your profile. You know why? Because I gave a lot of thought to mine. So my pictures, like, you see me out and about, you see what I like to do. So bonus, if you see me in nature, traveling, at a race somewhere with friends, I have like one, like, thirst trap picture of me in a bikini, titties up. So I have one thirst trap picture, and then I have one selfie. So I have 6 pictures, and you see a big slice who I am and what I'm into.
I want to ask about the gym pictures. Why? Why is that a no for you?
Gym rats have a certain personality type to me.
Just funny because you spend a lot of time at the gym.
I do spend a lot of time in the gym. I do. I'm in the gym all the time. It helps all types of my ailments for me to be as active as I am. I spend a lot of time in the gym, and I don't like what I see from the men's. I make friends with women in the gym. I'm going to find a girlfriend at the gym. I know I am. one of these days, I'm going to get bold and be like, because, okay, so I don't really have a good lipstick lesbian radar. I don't.
Don't ask me. I have a terrible lesbian radar.
I don't. I like them pretty. I like them pretty.
I'm shy on the women's, especially like if I like them or I'm attracted to them. I get shy. I'm not confident because I don't have the experience. I've only slept with one lady.
If you let me know, then I will flirt with you. But I really don't know. It's not something that I can be like, oh, like this is a clue that this person is. Especially at my age, because we all drive Subarus and wear plaid. I live in the Northeast, so
I'm in Seattle. Everybody drives a Subaru.
Yes,
everybody drives Subaru. It's Subarus and Teslas out here.
So it's very hard to tell, but I'll figure it out. I'll get my gaydar on. But yeah, I have a firm belief that I'm gonna meet my girlfriend at the gym, because gym women are different than gym men. They just are. They are. They're nicer.
I just want to know what's the difference. What's the difference? Because I'm attracted to gym rats. I'm attracted to gym rats. I haven't dated enough of them to have any data to notice any patterns. So
there's a guy that lunks everything at the gym, right? Boom, gotta be noisy, right? You gotta be loud, and I can't stand that. And I would say like 10 to 15% of the men in the gym are that way. The man spreading, the man splaining, the ogling, like there's all of the trash behaviors that we see from men in the wild kind of are encapsulated at the gym. You're in a smaller space with all of that nonsense. And you know me, I have a mouth. I had to tell a man, we're in a crowded hot tub, okay? And I threw him up, like I was kettlebelling and medicine balling and doing all of the things that I do. When I work out, I work out. I need to relax these muscles. But I call it my obnoxious, listen, get out of my way, it's Black History Month moment. This man is sitting spread eagle. It's standing room only in this hot tub. He sat next to me, so I was already there. And he just keeps opening his legs wider and wider, and his hands are touching. I was like, sir, you are too close. And I was loud about it. Everybody in the pool stopped.
I do that shit too. When I call somebody out public setting, I'm loud because I want everybody to hear me.
Everybody stopped what they were doing. People were swimming laps. There was people in the plunge pool. It got deathly quiet in there because I was like, "Sir, you are entirely too close to me. Please move." You know, and it was like a weird, insidious, like butterflying thing where he was trying to like get his space. I ain't the one. So like I find those types of personalities in the gym. I do not find cuddly and nice and respectful in the gym. I find aggressive, aggro, primate men in the gym. So like I'm very shy of the gym. I know it would be
Well,
different if I was in a different locale. Like I'm pretty sure if I was in the city, it would be different. Or if I was on base, it's
mhm.
different. Some of my favorites were gym rats
Yeah.
when I was in the service. But out here in the suburbs,
It's a type. Okay, cool.
no.
Well, I like my men in the gym, but I also like the whole package, right? So the ones who live in the gym, I feel tend to have a bit of a weird arrogance, have a bit of an arrogance to them. Yeah, it's funny. I also, when I'm in those moments of confrontation, especially with men in a public setting, it's funny because my default is always going to be sweet in the beginning. I was like, hi, excuse me, what's your name? Hi, my name is Adam. Hi, Adam. You're sitting entirely too close. Can you move, please? Oh, no, 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 what was that? Move.
Yeah, see, like I don't even. I'm too salty for all of that. I really am. I was just like,
Move.
sir, you're entirely too close. Could you not?
And I do this shit on purpose because, again, I'm usually loud when this happens. So I'll give you the sweet until you say some shit back, and then you get my other side. But it's just one of those things where, like, women have to be aggressive for men to shut the fuck up and listen. And I hate that. And I get it. Because if we're polite and we do what women are expected to do, they don't fucking listen and they talk back. I hate it, but that is the psychology of why I do it. But every once in a while, somebody catches me on a bad day, and those are the days where I'm looking. I'm looking for a reason. So
What is your potential profile's wish list? What would you wish you would say?
everything that I have is pretty straightforward. I have what I'm seeking.
But like I find every once in a while there is a profile that gets me, and it has nothing to do with what I put in my profile, right? It has to do with if you are clever, like, and not clever in the like I think I'm clever kind of way. Like I can't resist a bad pun. So if you have a bad pun in there, it kind of melts me in a little in a little way. If you write at length about like so this is field because and I like field too. I like field a lot. When you describe what you're into. So you're not playing a guessing game, right? I don't like reading novels, but if you have a tight 500, 600 words that's clever, it melts me every time. Pictures generally don't get me. I'm looking for certain things in a picture, but like we've talked about this, looks are not high on my what I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
for. I'm looking for someone who communicates. I need that communication. I need you to be clear about what you want, your intentions are.
And I want a little bit of personality.
Yes, yes, because I've got a lot of personality. So
I will say that my online profiles tend to portray me as this no nonsense, don't fuck with me. And so it is purposely designed to scare people off, to
make it
deter.
make sense. Make it make
So
sense.
let me read. So this is my field profile, just because that's the only thing I have going on right now. So I'm seeking nesting anchor partners, stag vixen marriage at some point, play partners, platonic kinky friends. And I do have it set that I'm monogamish with my person, and I'm currently solo poly as a single person. Next paragraph is gents, if I have to school you on proper conduct, basic human decency, manners, and etiquette, I will hurt your feelings. So that's out automatically gets rid of the dick pic guys, the friends with benefits, the fuck buddy guys. Act like a dog and I'll treat you like one. I'm not your fetish fantasy or kink dispenser. I am not your texting buddy when you're bored and horny. I'm not here to entertain your excess loneliness, and I'm not here to waste my limited free time. So it's very like the Dom. It very much like screams like friends with benefits. I do sexy, sensual, and sometimes fucked up things to my friends in safe spaces. Kink positive service top. Benefits negotiable, no PIV and fluid sharing. Very much an exhibitionist and voyeur and welcome the same. Chivalry is not dead, and I am a modern traditional hybrid. Self-sufficient and hyper-independent, yet crave the freedom to be soft and feminine around truly masculine protectors and providers. So that's kind of like shows what I want to be treated like. And then interpersonal interaction is required. So if you're asking for things up front before we've developed interpersonal rapport, know that I do not consent to being your sex worker without appropriate compensation. And then a link to my FetLife profile and a plug for our munch on the first Thursday every month. So I was like, I go through phases with these online dating intimidating. If you really want to meet me in person, meet me first Thursday of every month at this place. So yeah, it's very clear. It's a little intimidating for a lot of people, but it's designed to be that way. And anyone who is willing to respect those things, you get to meet me in person and you get to access the fun, goofy, silly, soft, feminine side of me. But I present as a very no nonsense, don't fuck with me, don't play with me kind of thing. I'm
Miss
mean.
Jean for play. Neither am I. So mine is different. Mine is a little different. So I wrote that I'm a new transplant to the Hudson Valley, actively exploring polyamory. A nerd who is inquisitive and curious about the world, wanting to find partners to roam with. Demi and bi, I'm looking to form genuine connections with people in an assortment of configurations. I seek erudite individuals who will value conversation, all of the different intimacies, as well as sex. I love to hike, dance, eat, laugh, read, write, and repeat because that's my everyday. That's exactly what I do. If I don't have anything else going on, that's what I do. Those are my basic. I prefer to meet in person sooner rather than later. This is a thing. I'm not
Texting
sending
you for a
links
month.
online. I'm not doing that. I don't want pen pals. I write for a living. I don't want to be doing it all day, every day for 3-4 weeks and we never meet because we fall out before we get there. And there are guys who use that texting time, right? They're like, oh, I can't meet this week. I can't meet the next week, but the week after next. And then they'll text you all day, every day with 1,000 questions. And this is
I call it
Yolanda
fishing.
theory. It is looking for information to create a false sense of intimacy. I ask you 101 questions about you. I seem like I'm interested in you. I'm just collecting a lot of data so that when we meet, we can skip to the sex real quick. Like that's what I find with those job interview matches. It's a little bit stressful. Like my date tomorrow is very surprised by I would rather meet. I don't want to talk about this text. Let's set a date because I want things to happen organically. So that's a big thing with me. It's its own paragraph, that one sentence. I prefer to meet in person sooner rather than later. I've actually had really good success with people who ask me out really early.
You have 72 hours.
Yes. So now to the negative part. Hard no's for me are NSA and casual encounters. I'm also skeptical of FWBs, friends with benefits, because are we friends if the intention is to form a sexual romantic connection? That's why we're here, right? Who exactly benefits? And precisely what are those benefits? 401k matching,
medical
paid
insurance,
PTO, all of it. I need to know what the benefit is. And the funny thing is everybody thinks this is the funniest thing ever, that I'm being so hilarious.
Yeah.
Yolanda's being hilarious. I mean it.
Yet
You have to explain to me what the benefit is.
It's yet another example of men using, oh, it's just a joke, to dismiss what women
the
say.
very real, and the funny thing is I had somebody come at me. They got big mad. They're like
what?
Every woman I've been friends with benefit, they've loved it. Blah, 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 whatever. Just because you had a bad time. I said, I've never entered into that type of agreement because no one could explain to me what the benefit to me was. I'm very pragmatic that way. Hey, I've heard horror stories about men expecting sex, emotional intimacy, and mothering, and all of the things that you get from a girlfriend, but just showing up whenever they want to, then not sharing that person with their circle, right? They're not taking them out. They're just showing up for sex and therapy. And whenever that other person figures it out and is like, oh, I'm not getting what I need from this relationship, they say, oh, we're just friends. No, you're not friends. What you mean is fuck buddies. Say that. Okay. That's what you want. You really want no strings attached. And I already said no to that. So friends with benefits is not a step up from that, because you know what I do for my friends? I check in on them. You know what I do for my friends? I make plans with them.
You know what my friends do? They show up at birthday parties. They show up for cookouts. They show up for girls' night out, and they pay me. They pay my bills because they pay me for my services. They quite literally pay me money to train their dog for my business. They support my business and they love it.
I cheerlead for my friends. I sit and I hold space for my friends. So define friend. I do this all the time because people laugh and I'm like, define friend. And also let me know what my benefit is.
I'm stealing that from you and I'm going to use that shit from now on. Because
use it. I tell everybody this. Use it. A lot of people are hard pressed to come up with the benefit. Quite literally, explain to me what the benefit to me is.
Mhm.
What am I getting out of this exchange? And no, sex is not the benefit. I can get that anywhere. I spent time on this profile. I spent time with my intention. I let you know exactly who I am and what I want, what I'm looking for. So I need to know that you are invested in at least getting to know me, because there are other apps for that. Like I'm not on Tinder because I know that's a hookup app. I know it's a hookup app. That's not what I'm looking for. There's like a female grinder that I'm kind of curious about. I need a girlfriend. That's what I really need. So like quite literally, that's the end of my profile. It's not very long.
Mhm.
It's not very long. It lets you know where I'm at. Yours
No, you
does too.
sound. I like your profile. It sounds friendly. It sounds warm. It sounds inviting. It sounds intriguing. Mine is just scary.
Well, like the thing is like, in real life I'm scary. So like I need like so it's like the reverse thing. Like online I need to be a little friendlier to like then people meet me and they're like, oh my God, who
Hmm.
are you?
Yep.
What are you?
My friend, my most recent gentleman, my tall, dark, and handsome gentleman. Remember, like we talked for like exchange, like quite literally 2 or 3 texts or some shit like that, and I like invited him to the munch, and he showed up, and I told you about that. He was like, I was like trying to talk myself out of it, and I said no, no. I just showered, got ready, jumped in the car, and left. And then when I got there, I sat in the parking lot, and I was trying to talk myself out of it. And then I showed up and I'm like, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did. He's gold. And I don't say this lightly about anyone, and you know this, but he's a
It's a good
golden
one.
nugget. He's a golden
Okay.
nugget. And I'm very happy that he took a chance and showed up. And he's like, so what was it? What was it about my profile that stood out for you that made you want to come out here? He's just like, everything about your profile was just sexy. It was just incredibly hot. It was just like you were clear, you were firm, you're no nonsense, and there's just something incredibly attractive about a woman who knows what she wants and requires it.
There is.
And everything about your profile was, I don't play games.
What do you wish you could say in your profile but don't?
I think I would like to be more human in the way that I'm like, I run a very busy life and I just want somebody to take care of me. you know but otherwise, like everything I say is, again, it's very clear, and it's just psychologically designed to repel the people who are just there looking to fill their time, because that's what a lot of people are using these apps for. It's actually what quite a large population of people are using the dating for. It's just avoidance and a form of escapism. That's not us. We're here to date with intention. The demographic that is us and the people like us is, we're looking for something specific. We're here to spend our time with intention. We don't have a lot of space in our lives, but we will make space for the right people. I have a very busy lifestyle, but I will make space for you. But I'm not going to
Mhm.
make space for somebody who's just looking to use me to fill their time. I'm not going to do that.
And for me, I would like to put the, second caveat, like, okay, casual NSA, F with benefits, right? Friends with benefits. I will be willing to do all of that, but there is a fee structure for it. Pay me. F you pay me. Like that is my tagline. There are things that I am good at that I would love to get paid to do. So if
Oh,
you want to, if you
I would.
want to pay me. And
Oh,
I think
you're
I'm gonna
totally
end
right.
up
You're totally right.
like there are a lot of things that you think are benefits in your sex life, which I could do without, but I'm very good at, right? I have skills. I have skills. So if it is casual, if it is no strings attached, if it is friends with benefits, I need a benefit. I need to say that somehow. Well, I'm figuring it out. Like,
You,
and
you
this
can't
is where we
you can't
move it.
really you can't really do that without somebody reporting you, because I've done that
I know.
before, and I've been reported and
I
banned.
know. There is a clever way of signaling that. I just haven't. You know me, I'm good with the words.
Because
Like I
I
haven't
would I
figured out
would
how to
totally
formulate it.
love to advertise my services out there, because like I also meet a good number of men who've been dragged, right? Who've had their time wasted. But and I get it, and I fully get it, right? And they're jaded and they don't want to do these things. They don't want to commit to these things. People also need to understand, like, interpersonal interaction is required. endless texting back and forth online is just never going to do that. What I also don't like is the faceless pictures. Because you mentioned like you like pictures. I don't like people who have pictures with multiple people. And that's all they have. It's like pictures in groups of threes and fours. I'm like, which one are you? I don't like that. I don't like people's pictures where their face isn't clear, or like risque pictures, which is funny because I've done this before and somebody actually tried to call me out on it. And I don't have those pictures anymore. I had like pictures of me in lingerie. And so somebody said some shit that pissed me off and was like, your pictures online signify that you're here for casual. So like, I don't know what you expect when your pictures when your pictures are quite literally.
I had to, well, to be fair, because I called someone I matched out on this because they were like, I'm tired of being used for my appendage. And I'm like, three of your pictures are your appendage.
Oh.
Like, so,
And I
you know
didn't
what
I
I'm
didn't like
saying?
it. It pissed me off.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
like
the
it.
thing is, the reason that we matched, one was a cultural thing. Like, we're from the same place, we went to the same school, so we know the same circle of people. So that was the attractor. Otherwise, I would have swept left. If I see endless dick pics, I don't know how Emily's gonna get rid of that. But if I see endless D pics, that's not a. They're not very pretty. Like 99% of them, they're just not pretty. They're not good to look at. Like, stop sending them. And I don't care how big it is because I know how lazy men with big
No,
appendages are.
again, I like effort. Okay. Dick pics can be art as well too. And they're like on the site
Listen,
that we are on,
I know there are other sites.
some men put effort into their dick pic art. And that is attractive to me. But the whole
Spent
like right here where you're just we're just like holding the phone up here, or like holding the phone up here and you got your pudge out there, or like put the classic water. I'm over here like doing all the things. The
like,
classic water
this
bottle,
is a
the water
dramatic
bottle.
reading of how we take those pictures.
It's the water bottle and the beer can or the soda can or the remote control size comparison. It's just like, listen, art is art. It blows my mind that men expect to be like, oh, men are visual creatures. So are women. Women are tasteful visual creatures.
And that's the funny thing is, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the other site because there is a site where we're having fun and actually, one more thing. At conspiracy theories, if you have them.
So I wasn't aware of this until somebody just recently, I think it was last year, mentioned that they have to pay for a subscription as a man, as a male, to be able to use certain dating apps. I don't know what all dating apps, but like men are required to have subscriptions. So that surprised me because I didn't know and I wasn't aware.
And for me, I think these apps are actually designed to keep us apart. Example, and this is my very hard example about this. I'm at home. I'm searching. I get a lot of what's in front of me, right? Hinge will tell you we think you're compatible with X, or Field will be like they will show you picture after picture of people who've already liked you, but you don't know,
I'm
right?
disconnected.
Yes, but they live 100 miles away. And I'm like, I'm looking to date someone on a regular basis. That's what I need. Consistency and repetition. Like, that's why NSA and casual, it's not a moral thing. NSA and casual for me are no's because the way that I work, the way that I function, it takes time. I take time. I take some effort and I take some patience. I am not a person that gets hot and bothered just by looking at somebody pretty.
Mhm.
It's never happened for me.
Welcome to the
Attraction.
asexual.
I know. Yes. So
Welcome to the asexual
the
spectrum.
asexual quite literally have to bond with you. I need to spend time with you. I need to. What do you smell like? All of these things. I need a lot of information. And let's say I am attracted to you. Then, in order for me to enjoy myself with you, time two. It's not going to happen in the first time. Maybe not even the fourth time. It might be the 10th time where I reach that full satisfaction. I take time. I take time. So I'm not going to commute to the city. I love the city. I was born in New York City. Okay. I miss it. I have family in New York City. What I'm not going to do is date in New York City. That's not what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm not commuting. So what happens is I get all of these city folks when I'm at home. That's like 3 hours away if I were to take Metro North, right? If I were to drive, it's still 2.5 hours. I'm not doing that. Now, I have appointment 50 miles south of here. When I travel less than 45 minutes away from my own location, guess what I get matched with? If I just happen to open up my phone and I look, I get matched with people in the town that I live in. So I drive 45 minutes south. I don't get matches from the city, which is makes me closer to the city, right? I get matches from up north. These apps are literally not keeping people, not matching people where they are in your locale. They're making it difficult to date. You have to meet in the middle. I've had, I'd say like 75% of my dates where it's more than an hour commute to get to them, and we have to meet somewhere in the middle, which is not sustainable for dating. So that's my conspiracy theory. They are literally trying to keep us apart. It doesn't make any sense that I can't see people in my hometown when I'm home, but if I travel south, I see people in my hometown.
Weird. That's weird.
Conspiracy theory. It's a
Interesting.
CONspiracy. And if you get that
Interesting.
reference, we're old enough to date. Like you don't get that reference because you're not that old. But if you get CONspiracy, then give me a holler. Give me a holler. We're old enough to
No, that's interesting because to me, like part of that 100 miles away thing is also part of the subscription that men pay for, right? They when they have to like they're required by a lot of these dating apps to pay to be on these platforms, and that automatically expands their radius because that's quite literally what they're paying for. It's very interesting to me to find out that you don't have access to your locale. That
I don't
this
get
is
locals unless I'm in another place. And luckily, I'm there every week or so. So I'm down
interesting.
there and I make it a point if I remember. Open up these apps, I'll find somebody that lives less than 10 minutes away from me. That's where I
Interesting.
found my current date.
Hmm.
When I was down there, they lived 10 minutes away from me. And I would have never seen them. And this is Field, Hinge, and OkCupid. I've opened up each of those apps when I'm in another location and I see a group of people that are local to me. When I'm home, using my Wi-Fi, wishing I had a Wi-Fi, I see people from Canada, Connecticut, the city. I do not see anybody within a driving distance to me.
Hmm.
So if I really want to date, I have to spend time. I have to spend time down south.
Yeah, I just had that conversation with somebody recently. I'm like, I don't date outside of my local area. No, because I need somebody to pop in and do shit for me. That's just how that goes.
What are your favorite apps? And give us a good reason why. One that you haven't heard here.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.